All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to November. Hope you guys had fun trick-or-treating with the kids. Yep, here we go. Powell Day, ADP data comes out in about 4 minutes here. Later at 10 a.m., you have JOLTS data, and then, of course, we're all waiting for Powell. And the expectation is that there's going to be no rate hikes today. I don't think he will. All right. Futures pricing in a 97% chance of a pause, but a slight potential 25 basis points raise in December 13th meeting. All right. So you have to deal with Powell one more time after today this year. All right. And so our target this week, 417 hit. We went to 418.20, which is a very strong move, right? I mean, we went from 409 to 418, 9-point move, right? That's about almost 100-point SPX, well, 90, in a matter of 2 days, okay? And to me, so far, and I'm open to be wrong, right? This is a classic bear flag. Right? You can already see we already fell under this rising wedge here. This was a bear flag. This is a rising wedge. All right. My target today or before tomorrow is going to be 410. All right. I'm open to being wrong. Like if Powell comes out super happy and he's super excited that people are still buying homes at 8% mortgages, consumer spending is up, wages are up. Great. But I doubt it, right? So I think he drops a hammer, right? And this is one of those rare times I'm actually bearish on Powell, right? You got this live gap here at 410.46, right? So I expect at some point we're going to go down and fill this, all right? You might see a little bump possibly at 10 a.m. for the JOLTS data. You might see this data come out here, ADP, all right? But so far, I mean, my plan for today, at least at the open, dump my AMD calls because they're going to be flat. All right, they're just going to chew up some IV. I think you can get out pretty clean here. All right, but this is the chart I'm looking at for today. All right, you go to ES here on 30-minute chart. We filled this gap yesterday, right? They filled this gap over. You see how when they fill the gap, they like to overshoot. Right? They overshot it by about 5 points on ES. 42.10 was a gap fill yesterday. Ran it up and look at where we are now. Right? So this is a trend line to deal with today. All right. The higher we go on this trend line, the uglier this rising wedge becomes. They might run it up right at the presser or maybe right at the decision. Comes out at 2 p.m. They could run it right back to equal highs, right? I think there's equal highs up here, 42.15, and then proceed to go down. There's a live gap here at 41.40, okay, which is pretty much 410, okay? So you can see it pretty clearly here, all right? 410 is the target zone, all right? No telling if they'll actually go fill it. Who knows? They didn't want to fill it on Monday, but this is an ugly, ugly setup going into the rest of the day with that gap being there and Powell being notoriously hawkish during these type of events. Okay. And if you remember 2 weeks ago, he spoke at the New York club event, whatever it was, right? And that triggered a huge downside, right? I think it was up here somewhere that he started talking really nasty and they didn't like it, okay? As far as this trend goes, this is what I'm thinking, like, 2-3 weeks out kind of thing. All right. Is that I think we dump down to this line here. So we come back, fill the gap, okay? Fill that 407, 408 gap, which is pretty close. Okay. Then once that gap fills, you have pretty major support at 403 to 400. So it's going to come down somewhere here. They're going to bounce it. Right, back to 410, maybe 411, 412. And I think the final leg down is to this trend line here at this daily trend line, all right, resistance, okay, turn support, 393. I think that's the final leg down, right? After this shocking event, all right, it's going to shock the system. And then I think this dip is done. And then I think we're going to take off from here. That's my projection. And that's probably going to play out over the next week or 2 weeks. Okay. But even if, let's say, Powell is dovish today, right? Dovish Powell, market runs up 420. 423 is definitely possible because 423 is your 200-day moving average, right? That's also playable, right? And then come back down, right, at the 200-day. I don't see how we break 200-day moving average today at 423, or is it 423.20 today? But if it does, that's where you probably want to buy puts too, right? Because usually, even if you get a big green Powell day, the next day is just bloody red. They come back and fill all those imbalances and FEGs, right? Tomorrow you have Apple as well. So the week is still young. The week is still young, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So with that, I'll see you guys back later. After all, no positions for me until we get closer to 2 p.m. So, feel free to hit the gym.